The HEROES Act, as proposed Tuesday, May 12th, is the biggest pork belly spending bill proposed in history. It totally screws over the small businesses and the individuals, feeding trillions of dollars to various government wish list programs. Good morning and welcome to the Stephen Carlson Show. I'm Stephen Carlson. Now, originally it was thought this would be named the CARES Act 2, the Health and Economic Recovery Omnibus Emergency Solutions Act. Whew, that was a mouthful. Also known as the HEROES Act is what Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic team has named this bill. Where do I begin? I spent most of the night reading the over 1,800-page document. Well, I skimmed some of the pages, of course. And seriously, I am tired right now. All I can say right now is this is the biggest pile of steamy that I have ever read. Countless hundreds of billions of dollars are wasted on every wish list item Congress could have dreamt about.
A 347,000-word wish list filled with $3 trillion in more spending. On top of the $3 trillion we spent, the $4 trillion in loan guarantees from the Fed. Now,
$410 million to the Census Bureau. Yep, that's in there. Well, how about $100 million for domestic violence prevention, $250 million for the Offender Reentry Program, $50 million grant to the Legal Services Corporation, $540 billion to state governments, $375 billion to local cities, $3.6 billion to local state elections. Wow! And even $10 million to the Foundation of the Arts and Humanities. Whew, that was a mouthful. And this only scraped the surface of the first few hundred pages. Now, I'm not here to argue whether these programs are of value or not. In fact, honestly, I'd wager most of them really provide a high value to the community. My argument instead is, why are these included in a COVID response stimulus bill? Why are we spending $21 million for the United States Fish and Wildlife Services to research listing injurious species, electronic permitting systems, operations and maintenance, law enforcement interdiction, and just other support activities? Why are we wasting the money on these programs? The answer is simple. In the 2000s, why? Honestly, the answer's simple. In well over 1,800 pages and $3 trillion, it's easy to hide a few billion here, a few $100 billion here, a few more over here, and a few more over there for your friends. I say again, what does this have to do with COVID? Absolutely nothing. It is nothing but a pork belly spending project at its finest.
despite calling it a COVID relief bill, well, much of the proposal has absolutely zero to do with the ongoing pandemic. In other words, they are treating the coronavirus like it's Christmas morning.
Now, these are all programs that were already funded in the annual budget and had little to no impact from the current pandemic. Now, I'm sure some of you are probably writing nasty comments saying, but Congress didn't give them enough money in 2020. Okay, and once again, what does this have to do with the current pandemic? Absolutely nothing. If Congress didn't give them enough money, why don't you complain to Congress for next year to give them more money in the budget? This has nothing to do with the current situation. And this is on top of the billions of dollars that were already allocated in the CARES Act for all these little various side projects. Now, of course, the news headlines are only going to be telling people about the $1,200 stimulus check, and you can just ignore the billions of dollars in internal government projects. A vast majority of this bill is for increasing salary of government employees. In fact, now my rough paper napkin calculation showed at least 1/3 of this $3 trillion spending package goes directly to government employees' salaries. Whew. All right, deep breath. I'm going to get off my soapbox now and give you a summary of what you can hope to see from this proposal, and if any money will actually make it to your checking account. It looks like everyone that received the first stimulus check from the CARES Act, plus a few that kind of were supposed to get it but never did, will be getting a second round plus a few $100 extra. They also changed the dependent status to include dependent adults. So if you have your parents living with you and they are dependents on your taxes, you'll be able to claim them as well as your children. Now, this proposal still basically screws over the average single person without children, as the government expects $2,400 to make up for 3 months of financial hardship. Now, just like the first stimulus check, the following caps apply. Single filers, you get $75,000. Above that, you lose 5%. Joint filers, your cap is $150,000. Head of household is $112,000. Your stimulus check will be reduced by 5% of the amount above those limits. So an individual with no children who earns over $99,000, which is me, expect to receive nothing. The bill also includes protections for employer-sponsored insurance plans, with healthcare industry that have been lobbying Congress for weeks for this. This proposed legislation includes subsidies for continuing coverage for furloughed employees and people using the COBRA Act, a continuing health care coverage plan for those who have lost work and even those who do not pay their premiums. The bill also creates avenues for premium assistance for certain categories of people who pay their premiums anyway and would have special insurance enrollment period that will be extended from this enactment date. It also provides 9 months of premium payments to health insurance plan administrators who don't receive them during the ongoing pandemic. The push to protect insurance premiums comes as some healthcare companies like UnitedHealth, Humana, and Cigna have all reported profits during this pandemic. And among record high unemployment levels, they have boasted that they have absolutely no worry about any financial impact. Now on to some bad news for us landlords. In a section titled Protecting Renters and Homeowners from Eviction and Foreclosures, the HEROES Act would put a moratorium on eviction filings for 12 months. Now, as you probably remember, in the CARES Act, there was a hold for 120 days that I felt fine with, and I thought it gave people the time they needed to either become gainfully employed again or enrolled in unemployment and benefits. But now this proposal extends to 1 full year? This is going to cause significant harm to the real estate investment market, harm that honestly may take decades to recover from. Small real estate investors with only a few properties will most likely get pushed completely out of the market, causing real estate values to drop as the market floods with properties being offloaded by these investors. You know who honestly profits from all this? Large, multi-billion-dollar corporations that can snap up all of these properties for pennies on the dollar. Small business investors, once again, we all get screwed. Now, this bill does include $100 billion for the Emergency Renter Assistance Program that's to be administered through the HUD's Emergency Solutions Grant Program to help renters avoid eviction. Now, I really hope that they streamline this process so tenants can easily get the money they need to make their payments. But honestly, my fear is many tenants will just see this as a complete waste of time, because why would they bother going through the Emergency Rental Assistance Program to get their rent money when they know they can't be evicted anyways? In their mind, this would be a complete waste of time just to get their landlord a rent payment. Now, I really hope this program will be designed so landlords can easily sign their tenant up for the program easily and quickly. But as you know, nothing with the government is ever quick and easy. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, has quickly dismissed this entire proposal, calling it aspirational. Unfortunately, there are no new offerings for the PPP, that's the Payroll Protection Program, or the EIDL, remember the Emergency Injury Disaster Loan, within this program. Except now they are expanding the program to an additional $10 billion. Big whoop-de-doo. They should have offered a second round of PPP funds to all the businesses that received the first round, with automatic approvals with no additional paperwork. If we would have seen a second PPP round, this would have saved a lot of people from unemployment. There is also absolutely no infrastructure spending in this bill. A $1 trillion allocation to rebuilding our crumbling roads would have quickly put people back to work and stimulated this economy, while providing value to all persons. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like and subscribe and comment down below. Doing so really helps with the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.